Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Travel Tips. And today we have a very special episode coming your way. We are going to be covering a place near to where we are recording today, which is Ann Arbor, Michigan. There are tons of great places to see. We'll also let you know some things to avoid, some must-see attractions, and also some places to stay as well. So we're hoping to give you all some insider tips for your next trip to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and hopefully this will be useful for you. So without further ado, my co-host, my man with the plan, what's going on, Jared?
Welcome to the A2. Okay, I'm a little hot. Welcome to the... can you turn me down a little bit? Welcome to the A2, everyone. Yeah, we do have some experience with it. I really only started coming here maybe in like college times. Mm-hmm. But how much you're from around the corner from A2. How much time did you spend there when you were a boy?
A lot of time.
Yeah?
Spent a lot of time in high school. We would go there on the weekends. You know, we'd go to Pinball Pete's, which is a really cool arcade. There's all sorts of great stuff to do there, and so I'm excited to talk about it with you today, buddy.
Would you recommend Pinball Pete's?
Oh, definitely. Okay. It's a lot of fun.
If you're really into pinball.
That's right. Air hockey, pool. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you call the basketball. Foosball? I think they have foosball. I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, a lot of good arcade games there. But how can they find all this information, Jared?
Dropping the ball. Hey, everyone. Spread a little love. And follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. You can email us, untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your travel tip location recommendations. Drop it in the DMs and the inboxes. Or, of course, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Tell everyone why you love the Untranslatable Podcast. And because we're at the Travel Tips episode, specifically the travel tips.
Exactly.
You've learned so much. You've planned whole vacations around these episodes. Let people know how useful they are. And you don't even have to lie. All those things are, I'm sure, real.
That is true. And we're going to be bringing you all some good gems today about Ann Arbor. Mm-hmm. Other than Pinball Pete's, although that is a great place to definitely visit. But yeah, as Jared mentioned, Jared spent some time in Ann Arbor while he was in undergrad, in college. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Dexter, Michigan, right down the road from Ann Arbor, so I have spent a lot of time there. And it's been really great to see the city grow and expand. And it's just one of my favorite places to go visit. Whether the food, there's so many great restaurants, the nature as well. You went kayaking, I think, or canoeing down the Huron River.
Kayaking, I did, yeah.
So that's another.
The reason I asked, though, was because, there are people that live like right outside of New York or Chicago that never actually really go there.
That's true.
And so I was wondering if it was like that here, but it doesn't seem like
it's the opposite. Yeah. We go there all the time. Let's get out of here. Yeah. Well, and plus there's a lot of great museums. You have the Ann Arbor Museum of Art. Mm-hmm. You have the Natural History Museum as well in Ann Arbor.
There's are these all cool connected to this college?
U of M, I believe so. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so there's just a lot of great places and things to do in Ann Arbor for sure. So enough about our experience in the city, Jared. Let's start with some of the attractions. And I will say this. Now, some of our listeners out there do know I am a Spartan. I went to MSU. But I can't hate on U of M for their beautiful campus, and it is definitely a must-see if you go to Ann Arbor and you haven't seen the campus. It's absolutely gorgeous. And there's 2 places I would suggest everybody visit. Do you know what those 2 places might be, Jared?
I have no idea.
So one is the Beaumont Tower. Or, sorry, not the Beaumont Tower. What is the tower called? Let's see here.
Is that the Beaumont Tower right there?
Yes, Burton Memorial Tower. Sorry, Burton Memorial Tower on U of M's campus is a great place to start, and it's very easy to see. It's a very tall clock tower.
What do you mean by start?
Like if you were walking around the campus, I would say look for this. Then the other place would be what they call the Diag, which is in front of the library. And it's basically this big, we would call it a quad in the States. It's this big open area where people can kind of relax. There's some benches and stuff, and you can sit there. So the Diag is also fantastic as well on the U of M's campus. And the last thing, so I guess there are actually 3 things. The last one is the law campus and the library. It looks like something straight out of Harry Potter.
Okay.
The law campus at U of M.
I've never been there.
Let me just see if I can find a picture for you so you can see what it looks like. Thought I had a picture up here. Ooh.
Oh. That's the Blue Azul, or the Azul Moose Studios for you guys. You're always going to get an untranslatable.
There we go. Law Quadrangle. This is what it's called. And so, so the Law Quadrangle has some of the most historic buildings, I think, on campus. And the library is really cool. If you're trying to get your Instagram game up, this is a good place to visit. I would always see people taking graduation photos and wedding photos in front of the Law Quadrangle.
I can imagine that. I can imagine that. I have a must-see attraction if you're here.
Okay.
I would say a sporting event, either a basketball and or a football game. The thing about the basketball game, though, is that's in winter. The football game, you could at least time it so it's early in the season and it's still nice out.
In the fall. But I don't know how easy it is to get tickets. I've never to the Big House. I've only been to the Big House once, actually. That's the football stadium for U of M. Actually, to watch the Real Madrid Manchester United soccer match in Ann Arbor.
That's the only time you've been in there was to watch a soccer game?
Yep, only time.
And that's because it's hard to get tickets?
I'm asking you, is it hard to get tickets?
Oh, I've never been the one that's gotten them. I've always been in situations where someone has acquired them.
Okay, yeah, that always helps. But I agree with you, though, nonetheless. Also, you can go to Yost Arena if you're into hockey as well. I have been there quite a bit, and Yost Arena is really great in Ann Arbor. You can see U of M hockey games. Also, there are some like local teams that will play there as well. So,
what's your opinion on botanical gardens?
Oh, I love them. They're fun, especially in the summertime or the spring or even the fall, really. They're beautiful to walk around and explore. I don't know anything about what's inside the gardens, but I guess more the reason to go there, right?
I guess so. Because there are a couple around here, aren't there? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, botanical gardens, and also a beautiful place for nature is called the Arb.
Okay.
Check out the Arb as well.
Do you ever take ladies for dates to a botanical garden?
I have not in Ann Arbor. At MSU, because they also have some beautiful botanical gardens.
Okay.
But we'll do another episode on East Lansing at some point, because that's its own thing. But yeah, Ann Arbor is fantastic, though. For nature as well. The Arb is one place. You have botanical gardens as well. I'm sure there's more that we're leaving out.
I would say if you're going to be in Ann Arbor, another important aspect of must-see attractions in Ann Arbor is the sort of the nightlife aspect of it.
Oh, for sure.
There are a lot of great bars around here. A lot of their own sort of personal Ann Arbor brewing companies.
Yep.
And it's a very poppin' downtown area if you come at the right time.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Another reason why, as far as when to stay, I'd say summer and or early fall, because I think if you want more stuff going on, it would be better to wait until school's in season.
Also spring is really nice in Ann Arbor as well.
Yeah, but you have to be a little careful.
Late spring, early summer.
Yeah, because if you mess it up by a week, you could be experiencing
real cold. The snow and the cold, that's for sure.
Exactly.
And like you mentioned though, Jared, too, with nightlife, Ann Arbor is a great city if you are a beer connoisseur or aficionado. There are tons of different unique breweries in the Ann Arbor area. You have Corner Brewery in Ypsilanti. Then you have Wolverine.
I love how you start with the place that's not even in Ann Arbor.
I said Ann Arbor area.
Okay.
And I think you can get Corner Brewery beer in other places as well. So that's why I'm mentioning it. But yeah, so you have Corner Brewery in Ypsilanti, which also, if you are trying to stay in Ann Arbor for a bit cheaper, I would say you might be able to find an Airbnb or a hotel a little bit cheaper in Ypsi. And let's be real, most of our tourists, at least American tourists coming to Ann Arbor, probably have a car.
Right.
So that also helps. So, obviously Ypsi would not be ideal if you don't have a car, but if you're traveling with a car, I would say Ypsi would be a decent place to stay. But anyways, a couple other good breweries you have are the Jolly Pumpkin, which actually started in Dexter, I believe. Blue Tractor.
You betcha.
Then they have the Old German, which has their own beer as well, and Arbor Brewing Company, which is fantastic. And a lot of these places also have really good restaurants as well. Like Grizzly Peak is one of my favorite restaurants in Ann Arbor.
Have you been to Holmes?
I have not, no.
Have you heard of Holmes?
I have not.
Holmes is another brewery. Do you know what Holmes stands for? Of course you do. You're from Michigan.
It's the Michigan, it's the lakes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Huron,
Ontario,
Michigan,
Erie,
Superior.
That's right, Holmes.
So Holmes is a brewery, and not only is it a brewery, they also, yes, I'm over 21, I promise. Those are some of the beers. Look at those. Lots of cool looking colors.
Those are some fancy. You got some bright colored looking beers.
But they also have normal colored beer, and they have really good food. They have like
Okay, I'll have to try it. Ooh, this looks great.
Yeah. And they also have a cool like a cool outdoor area. They have these bowls too. Oh, you can't see pictures of them, but they're great. They have like a very nice outdoor area.
Okay.
And it's always got great music going on. Last time we were there, me and my sister were like, "Oh, I love this song. Oh, I love this song too."
Oh, nice.
It was like Chance the Rapper and stuff like that. But anyway, it's a cool place, and it's got a cool outdoor area. And we should go there next time I'm here.
Sounds good. Got me sold. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some good food places as well.
Holmes.
Because there's one. As I mentioned, Grizzly Peak is another great one as well. Let's see here. There's tons of good.
The place we were just talking about with the burgers with the egg on it.
Oh,
Frida
Batidos. Frida
Batidos.
I think so. Yeah, Frida. Isn't it Banditos? Frida Banditos.
It's not Bandito.
It's not.
It's not Bandito.
All right, we'll find out what it is. Thank you, Frida Batidos. Okay.
You said Bandito.
I did
on the last episode where we talked about that.
Did I really?
Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, Frida Batidos. Yeah, my bad, everybody. But yeah, they have a lot of great sandwiches and stuff.
And good drinks, too. They have like a good margarita, not going to lie.
Can't go wrong with a tasty marg.
How do you feel about French fries in your burger?
Nope.
I'd rather just have them on the side.
On the side, they get soggy.
I don't dislike them being in the burger, but I'd much rather just have them on the side.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, let's see here. Some other. If you are into German food, I have two suggestions. One is further out of Ann Arbor, which is called Metzger's, which is my favorite German restaurant around here. Also, you can go to the Heidelberg. And the Heidelberg is fantastic in terms of drinks. Their food's okay, but in my opinion, it's a little overpriced, so just be aware of that. But yeah, so if you're into German food, that's also a good option.
A little overpriced, but worth it. Another Ann Arbor staple is Zingerman's.
Oh, yep.
And it's definitely a little pricey, but it's good. The restaurant is fine. The restaurant, I think, is not as cool or interesting as the sandwich places. And it's a cool looking place. There's a lot to see just in the place, but then also they have this extensive list of sandwiches, and it's a cool place to hang too. But it is, I would say, a little overpriced.
Yeah, I would agree, but definitely good quality food for sure. Another place I like that is not only in Ann Arbor, but the restaurant there is fantastic, is Hopcat.
Oh, yeah.
You have great assortment of beers, a lot of different foods to try. Yeah, it's fantastic. Hopcat's also really cool as well.
What other kind of nightlife goes on in Ann Arbor besides for drinking beers?
Drinking beers? Well, you got different places like Good Time Charlie's, the Heidelberg.
Is there any good live music around here?
Yeah, you'd have to look and see at the Ark is one place, the Ark is a smaller, more intimate venue with a lot of like more acoustic and folk artists, but it's fantastic. They have all sorts of different concerts there. I believe they also have like an open mic night as well. So there's a lot to choose from at the Ark. Let's see here. What else? I mean, sometimes at Rackham for U of M will put on concerts, whether it's like a jazz concert or, orchestra or something like that. So there's a lot of different options for concerts. In terms of other bars and stuff that a lot of people go to, you have the Blue Leprechaun, you have Scorekeepers or Skeeps. What else? Obviously, Hopcat. Necto is like the only club that I know of in Ann Arbor. And the night is different every night. So one night will be student night. One night will be
ladies night.
Ladies night. One night I think is,
Black night.
I was going to say gay night, but you never know. So they have Pride Friday, Frequency Saturday. Let's see here.
What's Frequency? They turn the music up?
I'm thinking that's probably what they do. Let's see here. Weekly events. Let's see here. So Factory Monday. So if you're into goth industrial, head over to Necto on Mondays. Mix on Thursday. They say we're mixing it up each and every Thursday with a blend of concerts. There you go. By renowned artists.
Have you ever been in Necto?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there before. Special events, unique parties, and even functions you can book. Pride Friday, so gay night on Friday. And Frequency Saturday, DJ Hardy and MC Yoda host the hottest club night around. The dance floor will be packed, featuring the best top 40 house and hip-hop tracks. So there you go. Let's get turnt, they say. So if you're trying to get turnt in Ann Arbor, you could try Necto.
Have you ever gone turnt at Necto?
Maybe once or twice.
Okay.
Maybe once or twice. But yeah, other than that, though, another great venue, and I've actually played there, is called the Blind Pig. The Blind Pig
I've been there before.
Has a lot of really cool artists. I mean, they've had everyone from Nirvana to Mac Miller, a lot of different artists.
Okay.
So the Blind Pig is another place that you have to check out.
Who do you think
in Ann Arbor?
Who would if for people that don't know Ann Arbor, who would you say like is the perfect customer for Ann Arbor, like as far as tourist goes? Like if you're looking for this, you'll love Ann Arbor. This kind of trip, or if this interests you.
It's a good question. I mean, I would say it kind of breaks down into two types of people. People who come for the different art and stuff in Ann Arbor, because there's a lot of art and artists there, or the people who are big U of M fans. And these could be people traveling within Michigan, people who are alumni that, you know, if you're alumni, you're probably not listening to this episode because you lived in Ann Arbor.
I thought you meant this podcast. I was like, how dare you?
Right. But yeah, otherwise, though, I would say it might just be somebody who has, you know, heard Ann Arbor's a nice place and came to visit. But I think a lot of the main tourists would be your sports fans for U of M, or, you know, people who come for the art festival, which is actually coming up next week.
Oh, perfect. Mm-hmm. Well, by next week, you mean...
Or sorry, actually, no, it
tomorrow?
Will have already happened after this drops. So never mind. But check out the art fair next year. Then Ann Arbor also has other festivals. They have Pride Festival on August 3rd and August 4th. The Blues Festival, which I will definitely be going to.
Not in June when Pride Month is.
I guess not, no.
Okay.
That is interesting. Typical Ann Arbor, though, man.
Yeah, always got to be different.
That's right. And then you got the Blues Festival in Ann Arbor on August 16th as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on in Ann Arbor in the summer. I will say this, though. Ann Arbor can get expensive, and this may not be the best place for someone traveling on a budget. Now, I think you could do it.
I feel like you could find affordable Airbnbs in a college town.
So, well, I looked, and most of the Airbnbs were somewhere around $30 to $60 a night, and there were some like fancier ones. No, it's not too bad for a weekend. I would say that's pretty good. And Ann Arbor is definitely a place worth seeing on the weekend as well, because there's so many cool things going on, a lot of great places to see. So yeah, I think you could budget it, but for a weekend in Ann Arbor, if we're talking food, if you're eating out everywhere, food, accommodation, and everything, I would guess it would run you for, if you were here like maybe Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, I would try to budget at least $300.
Oh, some of these, this literally looks like someone's dorm room. Like, I'm not even kidding.
There you go.
The first place is $33 a night, but check this out. It literally looks like someone's dorm room.
It does. It definitely does. No, yeah, you're right.
This looks like the common area in a dorm room.
It looks like it's a, what do you call those?
Oh, now it looks like a house.
Co-op. I think it's a co-op. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
so definitely
you can find affordable places.
Yeah, using Airbnb or couch surfing.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't book a hotel, because I looked at the hotel prices, and they were anywhere from 90 to 150 a night, if not more.
Okay.
So I would say, yeah, if you're on a budget,
get someone's dorm room.
Exactly. Now in Ann Arbor, really, it's a very safe place. There's a lot of great things to do. I don't think there's too much to watch out for.
Watch out for white dudes with dreads.
That's coming out of Jared's mouth, not mine. But the only thing really that you mentioned, Jared, is weather. Just be aware that, here in Michigan, it can get pretty cold and snowy in the winter. So Ann Arbor might not be the best place to come in the winter unless you are going to a U of M basketball game.
Or skiing. Not that you'd be here.
You wouldn't be in Ann Arbor for skiing, that's for sure. But yeah, I would say really, other than be aware of the weather, at least I've never really heard things about people getting pickpocketed or it being, unsafe. So I think as long as you are a normal traveler, I think you'll be fine.
Especially, I mean, not that it really makes a difference, but especially if you're here during the school year too, then there's even much more going on, especially on during the week. And there's even less reason for concern outside of the normal fact that already isn't really a reason for concern.
Right, exactly. And I would say, now this brings us to how long should you stay in Ann Arbor if you are traveling here? I would say to get a good taste of Ann Arbor, I think you could do it in a weekend. Now, you wouldn't be able to see everything, but you could have a great weekend trip. If I were to outline a weekend stay, we'll say Friday night to Sunday night, right? You got to probably go home before work on Sunday sometime. So on Friday night, I would head into my Airbnb or wherever I'm staying, then maybe go get food at one of the places we mentioned, Homes.
Frida Batidos.
That's right. Or Batidos. Grizzly Peak, anything like that. Get
Arbor
a nice
Brewing
dinner.
Company.
Absolutely. Or the Jolly Pumpkin.
Hopcat.
Exactly. We could go on and on. and then after that, I would see what kind of things are going on. There might be a concert at the Arc. There might be, events put on by U of M. There might be, there could be all sorts of different events, right? And then Saturday, I would get up, sleeping a little bit. I like to sleep, but I would get up probably around, 9:30 or 10, maybe go to the Arb or check out one of the botanical gardens or walk around U of M's campus. And then I would probably hit up one of the museums. So either the art museum, the history museum, something like this. If you're there during the farmer's market, I would definitely hit up the farmer's market.
In Carytown?
Well. In Carytown. And I would walk around Carytown as well.
And that's right next to Zingerman's too.
Yep. So there's a lot of things you could fill your weekend with. So I would say a weekend trip would be ideal.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say a weekend of 4 days. If you have the time, make it a long weekend, or if it's a Monday vacation day or something.
Right.
I'd say you could make it 4 days, but you could definitely do it in 3 days. And you don't need to see everything, because that's the thing about a lot of American cities is they don't have the history kind of aspect to it.
Right, sure.
Where it's not like a whole bunch of, oh, did you see that from, the year 1200? That doesn't really exist in most American cities.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I would agree with you. 3-4 days. But I do want to list a couple more attractions before we end our travel tips today.
Pajolsta.
So, Graffiti Alley is definitely a must, especially for the gram. If you're going to Ann Arbor and you want to
flex for the people.
Exactly. Pixar didn't happen. Nichols Arcade, which is this really cool kind of walkway. There's a really good barbershop in there that I will probably visit.
And a good hat store.
Yep. So check that out as well. University of Michigan Museum of Art obviously is fantastic as well. The Burton Memorial Tower, which we mentioned. There's just so many great things. And the cool thing about Ann Arbor...
The Big House is cool to see.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is where the football team plays.
Yep. And the Big House is a little further out, but a lot of these places you can walk to very, very easily, which is really nice.
It's very walkable once you're inside of it.
Definitely. And one thing, too, check out our episode on tailgating in Ann Arbor. But that is also a fun thing to do if you're here in the fall. Jared can attest to it. He saw some crazy shit.
Do you think it's possible to just make tailgating friends when you show up and hang with people?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think if you have Don's strike capabilities, you for sure can. I think if you go there and you're wearing some U of M stuff, for sure.
That'll help.
For sure, yeah.
Don't come wearing the opposing team.
Yeah, don't come wearing an MSU hoodie. That's probably what I would do. But yeah.
Go green too, right, guys?
Right. But yeah, and just all the restaurants. I feel like Ann Arbor is a really good place if you are a foodie.
Yes.
Another thing, too.
You never mentioned any good Mexican places.
Oh, shoot. I don't remember the name of it anymore. It's right on Liberty Street. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe it's called Tia's. I think it's called Tia's.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But yeah, also a couple other things too. If you are in Michigan in the fall, please walk around the campus because it is so beautiful with the colors, and also paddle down the Huron River, as we mentioned earlier. And yeah, there's a lot of year-round unique events like the art fair, the blues festival, all sorts of stuff.
It is Tio's.
Okay, perfect. There we go. So yeah, there's a lot of great things. And lastly, the last thing that I will give all of our listeners out there, I challenge you to see if you can find the ferry doors in Ann Arbor. So there are these little tiny ferry doors, in the front of shops and storefronts.
Isn't that just an outlet right there?
No, that's a door. Can I zoom in? It's a little fairy door.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've never seen those before.
Yeah, you gotta keep your eyes open for them.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing, and a lot of them, I've seen a few of them, but usually you walk right by them and you have no idea they're there.
Yeah, I'm sure I've walked by them a bunch of times.
So there's a lot of great things in Ann Arbor.
Hey, where would you recommend people stay?
Wherever they can find an affordable Airbnb.
The thing about Ann Arbor is it's not so big where there's like different areas where it's like, oh, this is like the quote unquote expensive area, especially if you're going to be staying like in the city itself.
Exactly. I would say that I really like South University area. I just think there's a lot of cool restaurants and places around there. But yeah, it's really up to you where, what's within your budget. And there's really no bad place to stay as well.
Right.
And one last thing that I forgot to mention, I cannot believe I forgot this. For breakfast or for brunch, you have to go to
the Fleetwood Diner. Get the hippie hash.
The hippie hash is fantastic.
I agree with that.
So yeah, so if you guys have any questions,
and it's open 24 hours, so it's a great too long out, too many beers. Eat that before you go to bed.
Exactly, that's right. Be safe, people. Don't party too hard when you visit Ann Arbor. That's for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, so we hope this episode has been helpful for any of you going to Ann Arbor in the near future, or we hope this has inspired you to go visit Ann Arbor and have a great time there. Let us know how these episodes have been helping you at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com, or you can give us 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher.
Spread a little love.
Give us some feedback. How can we make these episodes better for you? We would love to hear it. And lastly, check out our Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, for pictures of all of our different shenanigans and travel destinations. And lastly, do not forget, check out our website, untranslatablepodcast.com, if you want to find out more about our other episodes and what we have been up to. So, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, bon voyage, děkujeme, a muchas gracias.